Hey everyone, welcome to the Might Matter YouTube channel. Thanks for checking in to see my trip between Ontario and Michigan via ferry, which I've never done before. I'm going to show you some of the footage I got traveling between these two locations, tell you what the ferry trip is like, and let you know what's around the area so you can plan a trip like this yourself. So before we get to the ferry part, I just want to spend a minute talking about the other sites we went to in Windsor and Detroit that you might find interesting. As you know, Detroit's the motor city, and Windsor is kind of Canada's motor city as well. So there's tons of car places to go if you're interested in automotive manufacturing history. For example, there's the former site of the Ford test track, which is now a park. It's across the street from the famous Ford Windsor engine plant. This is where the well-known 351 Windsor and 302 V8s have been built. It's also worth noting that this plant is where the Coyote V8 is made today, as well as the Godzilla 7.3 gas V8. So two amazing engines made today, plus some great history of past engines as well. After visiting the Ford Windsor engine plant and the Ford test track, we went to the Chrysler assembly plant, which is where they make the Pacifica today. Previously, they made the Dodge Caravan, Plymouth Voyager, Town and Country, that sort of thing there. And then our last stop that I'll mention here is at the Renaissance Center, which is the GM World Headquarters building in downtown Detroit, right on the river across from Windsor, Ontario. Fantastic, beautiful building, cool cars stored inside on display, and the winter garden was really nice to see. In fact, there's a sister video I have you can check out in the description below to see more details on the Renaissance Center, especially considering I'm hearing they might be tearing it down soon. Okay, after all that, let's move on to the border crossing. The first crossing we did was just over the Ambassador Bridge. No big deal there. A lot of people have done that. But I've always wanted to take the ferry across the St. Clair River back again. To do that, you have to drive north of Windsor, around a big lake, and get to the ferry crossing, which is on a Native Canadian reservation. This crossing makes a lot more sense if you're headed east to west or west to east, if you're already north of Lake St. Clair. But if you're making a trip just to do this from Windsor, it's pretty far out of your way, so just be aware of that. After getting off the 401, which incidentally is the busiest highway in North America, although not near Windsor, up near Toronto, we took some small roads. You can see some of these are gravel, some of them are paved, and we crossed over quite a few lift bridges, which I thought was interesting and unexpected. These modern-looking lift bridges, I guess, are used for deliveries and stuff to the farm and industry in the area. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then as you get closer, you do enter the Native Canadian reservation. The stop signs have different languages on them. Some of the signage doesn't make a lot of sense to me. It must be a different language because none of the products advertised at the store signage locations made any sense to me. So I like that. I think that was pretty cool. And now what you'll see is the very tiny ferry terminal that accommodates maybe 5 or 6 cars on the left-hand side of the road and a few more on the opposite side of the road for the heavy loads. This small ferry was very interesting to me because of the size, but also that it's on a international border. So we're on the Canadian side now, and I was wondering if there'd be any American passport control ahead of time, or if you just wait till you get to the other side. Turns out you wait till you get to the other side of the river to go through passport control, which is quite brief. As we saw the other ferry returning back to the Canadian side, we saw the cars get off there, and they went through their passport control, which seemed pretty brief. I mean, it's never that lengthy, luckily for us, but seeing them come off and have several Border Patrol agents come out and greet them to deal with their passports and stuff, car side, is pretty cool. If you're wondering about the cost, it's $12 Canadian. You can pay cash or credit card, and we paid on the ferry. No need to pre-purchase tickets. But be prepared, if you don't make the first ferry load, you might have to wait for the second, or who knows, maybe even the third ferry load at peak season. So don't necessarily expect to be on the very first ferry. And with that, we're on the ferry, about to start our journey across the St. Clair River west to Michigan. The journey takes about 10 minutes, and then you go through passport control, like I said. We were the first or second car off. It was very brief. And the passport control was manned by one person, but they were pretty quick and efficient. They only had 2 questions for us and scanned our passports, and that was it. So pretty efficient process to get off the ferry and get back onto solid ground in the USA. So thanks for watching. I hope you try this journey again yourself. Please subscribe to the Might of Manor YouTube channel for more travel videos, EV videos, car and truck videos, and boating videos coming up soon.